Hey guys, and this video is gonna be about the fact that you might be not as ready as you think. Um, with this snowfall and all the freezing stuff, many people actually found out that they're not as ready as they thought they would be, but many of them found out that they are ready, which is good for them. But the thing is, just because you plan to do something doesn't mean you're actually going to be able to do it if you don't practice doing it. So, and also just because you think you know how to do something doesn't mean you'll be able to do it if you don't practice doing it. Well, just because you watched some videos on YouTube and read a lot of things about how to do something, if you actually have to do it someday, you might not be able to do it because you might not be set up for it, or you might not have the proper supplies for it, or you might forget like some of the things that you were reading about and then have to go spend time go research for more information, which is time consuming. So you need to practice whatever you would think you would be doing when the stuff hits the thing. And if you practice, you actually will be able to do it easier, and it's gonna, if you think you're gonna be making something out of whatever supplies you got, you gotta try a few times to see if you actually do it. Like, even if you're trying to cook something, you may not get it right the first time or two, depending on your cooking skills. So, and if you're like doing something and you're not gonna get it right, you might end up wasting things at the critical moment when you cannot afford any waste. So, and it also takes a while to master something. If you think you're gonna be doing this or that, if you never did it, it's gonna take a while before you actually can do it more like properly. So if you think you're gonna garden, you bought the seeds and you think, just in case I run out of food, I can always plant those seeds and garden. Well, many people get the seeds, but then the thing is, sometimes they get the things that might not even grow in their climate. And just because those things are sold at your local Walmart or whatever, those seeds, it doesn't mean they're gonna grow at the certain time of the year, because like even here in California, certain things would not grow in the summer because it's too hot, and then you have to plant them like in spring or fall, or some of the things can even be planted in the winter. But not everything will grow in the summer, and you need to know which ones will grow in your area before you actually do it. You don't want to plant something and then it will end up dying because it's too hot or whatever. Also, people might have the old seeds. Like, I had some seeds that I got from the library, the squash, and it didn't grow last year. So, and I didn't have any other seeds of squash to plant, and by the time I realized they're not gonna grow, it was kind of too late to plant. So, and I already planted, because I made more tomato plants out of my tomatoes that I had, so I just planted tomatoes in their place. But sometimes if you get those seeds that would be kind of bad or old, you might end up with nothing, and when it's already a bad time, you might not have any spare. Many people think they will get chickens or goats or other animals to produce the eggs and meat and milk and all other stuff. Well, if you have no experience with it, you might not be able to take care of those animals. Might not have the proper housing and space for those animals. You might not have proper conditions or the feed or other things that the animals need. And if it's already like the time where everybody needs everything, you might not be able to buy or get the right supplies. Also, you might think, oh, I'm just gonna harvest my animals for meat. If you never tried it before, like if you never harvest your chickens or other animals, well, then you might not be able to do it because you might not know how, or even if you watched it somewhere on YouTube or whatever, you might still not be able to do it, because that's something I don't like doing. But if I have to, I can. I mean, we did before harvest the chickens, so if I have to, I can do it. But with my goats, I don't think I'll be able to butcher them or anything, because I don't know, they're just too cute. You might think, oh, I'm just gonna sprout some seeds if I need the extra greens, because you might store the food, or like that's canned food or rice or beans or other dried stuff, but you might, if it's gonna go for a longer time, like a couple months or something, you might still want to eat something that's fresh, that's like vegetable like. And if there's nothing to be had that is like fresh vegetable, you might want to sprout the seeds. And first of all, you need to have the right seeds that are gonna sprout. There are some seeds that are for sprouting that are sold like on Amazon and stuff, but those are expensive. Those are like about $16 a pound or something, which is too expensive. I bought some things for sprouting at the local Winco at our area. I bought like what are they called, lentils, and some I forgot now. I tried a few things to sprout, and some of them taste good, some of them taste bad, some of them didn't sprout, because those were just for like cooking and eating. But I didn't want to buy something that's like $16 a pound. I wanted to buy something like that's like $1 or $2 a pound and see if I can sprout them. So right now, if they don't sprout and I end up wasting them and giving them to chickens, it's fine. But when you don't have enough stuff, and if you try to experiment, then you cannot afford to waste things if they don't end up with the results you want them to. Also, some people think, oh, if something happens, I might just ration the food. Like, I'm gonna eat less, I'm gonna give less food to my kids and my animals and everybody else. Well, have you ever tried it before? Like, have you ever tried living like a week or two with like rationing the food for yourself or for your kids? I mean, I'm not planning to ration food on my kids, because they're teenagers, they're growing, they need to be able to eat as much food as they want. That's why I have a lot of chickens that can make eggs, so they could have enough nutrition. But if you have to, like, if you never tried it before, it's gonna be really hard. I think you're always just gonna skip the meals. If you never tried like being on a diet or fasting or anything like that before, you might not be able to. So you gotta try before you actually say, oh, I'm gonna do this. Like, I'm doing intermittent fasting, so I know I can skip a meal or two and I'll be just fine. But if I would never try it before, I don't know if I would be able to say that. So before you say you're gonna do this or that, try it first. Many people also say that they will be foraging when stuff happens. So, which is good when everything else is good. But when you decide to forage when people, like everybody around you, needs food and other stuff, everybody else is gonna get the same idea. And are you gonna compete with the whole neighborhood plus the homeless people that might be around, foraging for all kinds of squirrels or birds or whatever? I think in the highly populated areas like cities, if people will start foraging, there's gonna be no, like, it's gonna be really hard to find anything like that's worth foraging after like a week or so, because there's gonna be nothing left, and because everybody's gonna get the same idea to do that, and people are gonna become desperate. So it's better not to go outside and meet anybody hungry who's trying to forage. A lot of people say they're gonna be fine if the electricity goes out. Well, in some places in the United States it happened, and some people are not fine. But some people say they'll be fine just because they have a generator. So if just because you have a generator, make sure you know how to use it, make sure it works before you actually say you can do it. Like try to do it when the weather is calm and it's sunny and all that. Before you have to do it, and also fight the cold and windy or other bad weather that's outside. So because it's going to be even harder to do it. Now if you try practice doing something that one of those things that I just said about if you're going to practice doing some of those things, if you like, let's say you're planting something for the garden or whatever, and you see that you need some of the supplies or some kind of tools, you can still go out and buy it. But if the hits the fan, by that time you might not be able to go and find additional supplies or the things you're missing. So by practicing to what you're gonna think you're gonna do, now you can still see if you're missing any of those ingredients or things that to help you to do those emergency actions that you would have to do. So thank you guys for watching. This is just a reminder for you that if you're planning to do something when stuff hits the fan, practice before you can say I can actually do it. Practice while you still have supplies, and you can find additional supplies if you find out that you're missing something. And also by practicing, it helps your skill to get better, so the next time you actually have to do it, you can do it faster, efficiently, and it's actually feels better that you actually can do it without like, I think I can do it but I don't know how, and but I'm not sure. And yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, doesn't feel good. Okay guys, I thank you for watching, and I hope you're all staying well and not freezing. I know here in California it's not cold, just weather is just perfect, but I know it's not the case everywhere else. So yeah, bye.